This physical body, a lot of people ask why and why and why are you barefooted? It hurt. Step on nail, screw, glass, rock, everything. But we still barefooted. Is it torturing yourself? I say no. Because I want to practice to see what is my maximum extent that I can handle all these pain. To prepare for my last moment if I happen to go to the ER, to stay in the hospital. Because when I stay in the hospital just for 3 nights, I suffer. The doctor put the tube into my mouth and my nose. It is suffer. Then that is the time when I realized all the patients in the hospital, my family member had that too. I feel that pain. And so I want to see how I react. And luckily, I didn't react that bad. I just observe all those feelings when I step on a rock. Imagine all those open wounds. The more I try to stay away from stepping on things, the more I step on it.
Right.
It's like a test. It's like a test. And every time when I step on it, it hurt all the way to the top of the head. Really bad, really terrible feeling. But then, come back. Observe it, come back. No regret, not mad. Just observe it, come back, come back, come back. That's what I did. So, pain for us, physical body, only 10%. We have to see this, we have to understand this. Only 10% sufferings for this physical body. But it adds up 90% more when we react. Makes it 100% suffering. How bad it is. And so please, not to react anymore. Shift those 90% for us. We don't have much energy left. Trying to do something useful for our life before we pass away. That is when we rest in peace. If our days are tough, if our days are messed up every day, there will be no rest in peace. It's just a saying, may you rest in peace, or you rest in peace, or rest in peace. We'll not be at peace. We'll not be in peace when we're still alive, we suffer. When we die, we cannot be in peace. Remember that? So shift those 90%. Don't train yourself. Can we do that? Yes. So now that the universe, that we already tell the universe that today is going to be my peaceful day. Imagine all the people in this world. Every day, every morning when they wake up, us too. We do the same thing to spread, to throw all those loving kindness and compassion and peace message to the universe. The universe will receive it, shower down with love and kindness, compassion and peace for all beings to receive. That is when this world become a better place to live and all beings deserve to have peaceful life. That is when peace actually happen in this world. And we expect all of us to practice and share the way of living from now on. That is how you join this mission to change this world. So all of us will be the history maker. Okay? Do not throw hatred, greedy, anger, anything that is bad, toxic, into the universe anymore. It's been received so much already. And the more we throw into it, the more it will bounce back. Just like the ball hit to the wall, it will bounce back. it should bounce back with loving kindness, not hatred, not anger, not delusion. Is that right? Yes. So, starting from tomorrow, do this thing for me. Can we? Yes. So now let us say one time. After I count to 3, all of us will say, today is going to be my peaceful day, okay? 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. You hear that sound, right? You hear that sound, how powerful it is? That energy too. If we can just do that within our family, we can see that how important, how powerful it is, how that energy can radiate to our family. We can have a peaceful life if we can just do that and practice. May you all be well, be happy and peaceful. And then when you go home, please be mindful when driving. Don't rush anymore. We need to slow down, okay? Tomorrow is Monday, so I expect that not a lot of people on the road. Monday you have to go work, right? Yes. Okay, so I don't want to take more time because we still have to give out the peace bracelet. Are we waiting for that moment? Yes. And we know the meaning behind it, right? Yes. Okay, so I have to remind you again, those bracelets is just a reminder that you have met the monks, that you have to be more patient. You have to stay calm, no react. You have to practice mindfulness. You have to have loving kindness and compassion. And you need to clean that mirror and pick up all those weeds every single day. Keep that in mind, okay? Thank you so much. And then our fellow monks will hand out the peace bracelet. Yes, you are.
Please remain seated. We try to do this in the order. Thank you, Nathan. We have Sabir from Barefoot. He's here to present the proclamation. Mayor Sloan Griffin, can you come toward the front in the middle and present the proclamation?
But when our friends miss us, we always be there for them. There are times in this life when our parents is sitting in front of the door, waiting for us to come home. And time when they prepare food for us to come home to go. The foods on the table are getting colder and colder. They are sitting on the sofas waiting for us to come home. Yet we are not. There are so many times we have made them cry. Their love towards us is like the water in the oceans. But our love towards them is just like a drop of rain on the leaf. Every time when they say something that we does not like, we walk away from them, left them with tears, and suffer. Let us think of them, ask them to forgive us. We also going to forgive them if with intention or without intention they have made us sad, disappointed, and suffer. Let us now think of our loved ones, our family members, relatives. There are times that we also encounter problems with them. We have made each other sad, cries. Let us all ask for forgiveness. We also forgive them. Now think of our friends, our co-workers, who ask them to forgive us if we have done anything wrong, with or without intention. We also forgive them. And now we think of our unfriendly persons, our enemies, and all beings in this world. We ask them to forgive us for anything they have done, with or without intention. We also forgive them. Now, think of yourself. Remember your face by the heart. Feel that heartbeat. Look at you. There are so many times you have hurt yourself. You have committed into unwholesome things that makes you suffer. Let us all forgive ourselves. We will be better this year. We will move on with kindness, compassion. We will never harm ourselves anymore, or nor harm any beings. Take a deep breath. Take another deep breath. And lastly, thank you. How you feel? Relax. How many of you cried? Well, that's a lot. It means in this life we suffer a lot and we have done so many wrongful things. It's okay. We are not perfect. No one in this world are perfect. We live and learn. We have to learn. We have to go through all these lessons of our life. That is how we can stand up stronger and stronger every time, every day. It's just that we have to forgive ourselves in order for us to move forward. Without forgiving ourselves, we cannot move forward. It doesn't matter how rich we are. It really doesn't matter how rich we are. If we cannot forgive ourselves, we still suffer. When we are poor, it doesn't mean that we don't have happiness. It doesn't mean that we cannot have peace. You know, there's one time when I were in Vietnam, I go around and talk about my book called Following the Footsteps of the Buddhist Monks. And I walked in India 112 days. After that, I wrote my first book. Vietnamese version, English version, and now it's translated into Thai version. And I went to Vietnam for a couple of months to talk about that book, and then I gifted about 7,000 books already in Vietnamese version. And then there's one time when I hold that book to walk back to the place where I stay after a book lounge, and I walk and I saw one of the ladies sitting on the chairs, the benches outside of the building with her grandchildren. And she looked at me, she smiled, and then she shook her head like this to pay respect, and I did the same. Smile at her and do that to her. And then I walk again inside. Surely I stopped and I looked back, and I saw her stand right behind me. When she stand behind me and I asked her with a smile, I say, "Do you need something?" She said, "Venerable sir, how much is that book for?" The book that I hold on my hand. I said, "No, it's not for sale." She asked, "Then how can I read it?" I said, "If you want to read it, I can give it to you, but it's not for sale. These books are printed to be gifted. It's not for any profit." And she said, "But you are a Buddhist monk. You don't have money. You don't go to work. Printing these books costs a lot. How can you afford to give it out?" I said, "Don't worry about it. Because there are people offer, people donate 5 books, 10 books, 20 books, 100 books, so on and so on. Many people support that mission. So don't worry about money. As long as you want to read, I can give it to you." And then she started to cry. She cried like a baby. And I feel that she's in deep mode of suffering. And I asked her to sit down and talk with me.
The image is as striking as it is humbling. A monk, draped in robes the color of a setting sun, walking across the vast, paved expanse of America without a single thing between the soles of his feet and the earth. To the modern observer, conditioned to seek comfort at every turn, the sight is almost nonsensical. We spend our lives curating softness, investing in ergonomic soles, and avoiding even the slightest pebble in our path. Yet here is Venerable Bhikkhu Panikkara, stepping intentionally onto the sharp gravel, the scorching asphalt, and the unpredictable debris of the road. When people ask him, why, their questions are often laced with a mixture of pity and confusion. Is this a form of self-torture? Is it a radical rejection of the world? His answer, delivered with a gentle smile, flips the script on how we perceive our own lives. He isn't walking to hurt himself. He is walking to find where the hurting stops and where the practicing begins. This barefoot pilgrimage is a living laboratory for the soul, a way to test the maximum extent of human endurance not for the sake of bravado, but to prepare for the inevitable moments when life strips us of our choices. By meeting the small pains of a rock or a nail today, he is cultivating the inner stillness required for the last moment, the hospital bed, the emergency room, the times when we are no longer in control of our physical comfort. It is a profound invitation to look at our own lives and ask, are we merely surviving our discomfort? Or are we using it to wake up? This perspective shifts the very foundation of how we handle suffering, leading us to a radical realization that the monk calls the 10% rule. In our fast-paced, high-pressure society, we often feel overwhelmed by the sheer volume of our stress, yet we rarely stop to categorize its source. If we look closely at the mechanics of a difficult moment, let's say, stepping on a sharp stone, the physical sensation, the actual hurt that travels to the top of the head, represents only about 10% of the total experience. The remaining 90% is composed entirely of our reaction. It is the, "Why did this happen to me?" and the, "I hate this road," and the, "I'm so clumsy," and the, "When will this end?" It is the anger, the regret, and the resistance that drain our energy. When the monk steps on a nail, he observes the pain, but he refuses to add the 90% of mental anguish to it. He comes back to the breath. He comes back to the observation. He doesn't get mad at the rock. This is perhaps the most vital lesson for the modern American heart. We are often exhausted not by our lives, but by the way we fight our lives. We have so little energy left to do something useful or beautiful because we are spending it all on a 90% surcharge of emotional resistance. If we can learn to shift those 90%, as he suggests, we suddenly find ourselves with a reservoir of peace that was there all along, hidden beneath the noise of our complaints. This capacity to sit with pain without reacting creates a bridge of profound empathy that connects us to the rest of humanity. The monk shares a vulnerable memory of his own time in a hospital, lying there for just 3 nights with tubes in his mouth and nose, feeling the suffocating restriction of medical intervention. In that moment of personal suffering, his mind didn't turn inward toward self-pity, instead, it turned outward. He realized that his own father, his family members, and millions of strangers in hospital beds around the world were feeling that exact same sensation. The tube in his throat became a telephone line to the collective heart of the world. This is the alchemy of mindfulness. It turns my pain into the pain. And in doing so, it dissolves the walls of our isolation. We often view our illnesses or our bad days as interruptions to our lives. But the monk teaches us that these are actually the moments when we are most alive to the reality of others. Our scars are not just reminders of what we have endured. They are the credentials that allow us to sit beside another person and say, I feel your pain. Yes, when we stop reacting with, why me? We can start responding with, how can I help us? This shift from the individual ego to the collective, all beings, is where true peace begins to take root, turning a sterile hospital room or a lonely road into a sanctuary of shared understanding. As we expand this circle of compassion, we inevitably find ourselves standing at the door of our own history, looking at the complex, often painful lineage of our families. The monk offers a poignant, heartbreaking image of a parent sitting on a sofa, watching the food on the table grow colder and colder, waiting for a child who is always too busy to come home. He reminds us that while a parent's love is often as vast and deep as the ocean, our response is frequently like a single drop of rain on a leaf, flicked away the moment it becomes inconvenient. We have all walked away from those we love, leaving them with tears and silence because they said something we didn't like or because we were too consumed by our own 90% to see theirs. To truly rest in peace while we are still alive, we must go back to these cold tables and these waiting sofas. We must find the courage to ask for forgiveness for the times we were absent. And just as importantly, we must offer forgiveness to those who made us sad, disappointed, or introverted through their own limitations, whether they hurt us with intention or through their own unhealed wounds. Carrying that resentment is like walking the pilgrimage with a backpack full of heavy stones. Forgiveness is the act of putting the stones down so we can finally walk with the lightness that life intended for us. This process of letting go is not a one-time event but a daily discipline. A concept the monk describes through the beautiful analogies of cleaning a mirror and picking up weeds. He speaks of the peace bracelets he gives out not as charms or jewelry, but as stark reminders of this work. Every day, the mirror of our mind gets dusty with the toxic things of the world, greed, hatred, and the rush of Monday morning traffic. If we don't wipe it clean every morning, we eventually stop seeing ourselves clearly. Similarly, the garden of the heart is constantly sprouting weeds of impatience and anger. We cannot wait for a special occasion to tend to our inner life. We must do it every single day. Mindfulness is the act of slowing down when we want to rush, of choosing to be patient when the world demands we be productive. It is the commitment to say, every morning, today is going to be my peaceful day. When we make this declaration, we aren't just making a wish. We are setting the frequency for our entire existence. We are deciding that regardless of what nails or rocks the world puts in our path, we will not contribute to the toxicity. We will be the ones who clean the mirror, so that when the world looks at us, it sees a reflection of calm rather than a refraction of chaos. When we commit to this inner clarity, we begin to participate in a grand, Universal exchange. The monk uses the metaphor of a ball hit against a wall. Whatever we throw into the universe will inevitably bounce back to us. If we throw hatred, greed, and anger into the atmosphere, we shouldn't be surprised when the world feels like a hostile place. The universe has already received so much of our collective, bad energy. And we see the results in our fractured communities and our restless hearts. But the monk offers a path to becoming history makers. If we start throwing loving kindness and compassion into the air, the universe will receive it in, like a mirror, shower it back down upon all beings. This isn't just spiritual talk. It is a practical mission to change the climate of our reality. When we gather together and loudly proclaim our intent for peace, as the monk's followers did in a powerful, unified chorus, we generate an energy that radiates outward to our families, our neighborhoods, and eventually the world. Peace is not something we wait for world leaders to sign into existence. It is something we throw into the world with every kind word, every mindful breath, and every choice not to react with fire when we are touched by a spark. This journey eventually leads us to a profound redefinition of what it means to be truly wealthy. The monk tells the story of a woman in Vietnam, dressed in clothes given to her by others, wearing sandals she had to beg for, who sat with her grandchildren and cried because she felt the heavy weight of her poverty. She looked at the monk, a man who owns nothing but his robes and his books, and asked how he could afford to be so generous. His answer was simple. The books are not for sale, they are for gifting. There is no profit in peace, only the wealth of sharing it. When we stop measuring our lives by what we have accumulated and start measuring them by how much we can give away, whether it's a book, a smile, or a moment of deep listening, the distinction between rich and poor begins to fade. True poverty is the inability to forgive ourselves. True wealth is the freedom to move forward despite our mistakes. We are none of us perfect, and the monk reminds us that no one in this world is perfect. We are all students in the lessons of our life, learning to stand up stronger every time we fall. If we can forgive ourselves for the unwholesome things that make us shiver, we find a peace that even the richest person in the world cannot buy. We realize that we can rest in peace right now, in this very breath, in this very body, barefoot and beautiful on the long road home. Would you like me to provide a list of mindfulness prompts based on this essay to help you integrate these themes into your daily life?